People, welcome back to our YouTube channel and thank you so much for joining the channel today. So guys, for some couple of days now I've not been able to bring out my own points with regards to the update from the Canadian government, or better still IRCC, and today is the right time. And please, if you haven't noticed, there are a lot of changes in respect to immigrating to Canada. That is to say, international students who got admissions or who are still thinking, who haven't gotten admissions, that they can move to Canada. Then I'm here to burst your bubble that there are a lot of changes. Well, without wasting more time, I just want to quickly talk some little things about these changes. Then I tell you what I think is the best thing to do as of now, because there are a lot of things I've been saying in my inbox, on my pages, on my YouTube channel. Now, without wasting more time, the Canadian government, or IRCC, says that these are changes, that there is going to be a cap on student visas. If you are new here, my name is Milton. Let me not forget, yes, please, if you are new, share this video, and if you are old, do not forget to like our content, because if you like the content, YouTube is going to push it to other people. All right, thank you so much. So according to IRCC, international students, now there will be a cap, okay, when it comes to student visas. And I don't know why this cap is coming into place now, probably because of the housing issues, but IRCC says they are only going to approve 360,000 student permits this year, that is 2024, and this will be a 35% decrease as of 2023. 35%, I don't know how much, but there is a decrease, which means that they are going to be looking at 360,000. We do not know if this amount is fixed, but that is what they said. So I would assume that you should put this into consideration and start thinking from today as you watch this video. Now, as they are going to be doing this, remember there are provinces in Canada, and some provinces will tend to take more students than others. Now, this is where the Atlantic region comes in. Remember, there was a time I said on this YouTube channel that places like Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and to a greater extent British Columbia would be those places that can favor you more to obtain your permanent residency in there. All right, now they are saying they will be issuing 360,000 student permits to international students, and places like Ontario, they are saying they might drop their approval rate to 50%, which means that if 100 students were taken last year in Ontario, it means that now, as IRCC just passed this law, they will drop it to at least 50%. This is what people foresee. This is what is on the news. So Ontario might drop theirs to 50% because already Ontario is so populated. So if you got an admissions in Ontario, I would advise you to start strategizing. Okay, this is the first thing. Remember, it's not been long that IRCC added the tuition, let me say the cost of living to study in Canada from 10,000 to 20,635. Now, the question is, can you afford this money? If you can afford this money, where is your admissions letter? Where did you get admissions? Put this into consideration. If you cannot afford this money, or cannot afford to pay this money, you have to start looking at other alternatives. Remember, you have to keep moving. If you stop, that is where the journey stops. If you keep moving, you will definitely reach your destination. Now, the second thing is, IRCC is saying that people who are for masters and PhD are not included in this cap, which means that I don't know if they are going to favor them somehow in approving the permits, but I do not know. I do not think so, because I know permits will be approved based on who is qualified. Okay, so you have to put this into consideration. But hey, if you can get an admissions offer letter for masters or PhD, that will be excellent for you, because you already stand a chance. But remember, masters and PhD in Canada is not for the weak-hearted. It's not for people who have pockets that are leaking. It's for people who are well prepared financially, guys. So this is something you should know. And again, another thing IRCC said is there would be an attestation from 31st of March. Which means that, let me break it down in simple terms so we all understand. IRCC is saying that For you to apply for a study permit to Canada now, you need an attestation from a province. So, according to what MBCC, one of the schools in Canada, sent to some of us recently, some of you must have sent that email. MBCC is trying to say that IRCC is going to give the provinces the attestation, or will update the provinces on the issue of the attestations. Then the provinces, the various provinces now will distribute to the various institutions in those provinces. Okay, then those institutions, or they will pass the information to the institution, then the institutions will now communicate to the students, and this can only be possible from the 31st of March. Indirectly, they are saying April 1st upwards. Now, these are my points. If you look at this very carefully, you will realize that this is already April. Now, remember, Canada visa nowadays is not something you can really brag about. It's not something that is easy to come by. It only means that you can only start your visa application from April 1st. This is the first thing. Now, is it possible that by April 1st, these attestations would have come in? This is the question you should be asking yourself. Now, what is the guarantee that when you submit your visa application, maybe let's just say April 5th, it's going to take April, May, June, July for you to get a reply? Because most schools are saying that you have to submit your visa on the website from August. Some are saying August, some are saying September. So it depends on you. You should have gotten your offer, and you should know what your school already said about submitting visas on their website. Now, another thing you should be worried about, is it going to be enough, or will these attestations that IRCC is saying they will send to the government will communicate with the schools, and this will be available from March 31st? Is it, since they are saying that they are going to approve just 360,000 visas, is it possible that only 360 students applied and got admissions in Canada this year? It is not possible. Is it also possible that they are going to issue only 360 attestations to students in Canada this year to apply for visa? It is not possible, because visas are not going to be based on attestation. Visa is going to be based on what documents you submit. Now, some students will get the visa and some students will not get, and these people must have gotten attestation. Is it also possible that everybody who got an admissions will get an attestation? It is not possible. The reason is because they will now focus more on government institutions and students with masters and PhD, and of course some diploma, some students who got diploma programs. You understand? So looking at all this, it's a whole lot of confusion. A whole lot of confusion. Now, look at it. If you wait up to the end of March, February 1st, maybe April 1st, before you start your visa application, brother, there is no guarantee to this, I must tell you. And IRCC is saying that the issue of the spouse's work permit, they cannot give it again to people with diploma except you have a master's or PhD. A PhD admissions, that is when they can give you a spouse's open work permit to your spouse, which means that indirectly IRCC is saying that international students should not be moving to Canada with their husbands or wives or spouse or dependents. You understand? So the thing is already mixing up. Let's forget about the issue of 3 years postgraduate work permit. And looking at it now, it is going to be difficult for people who got admissions in colleges that are not eligible for PGWP. So if you watch me and you are still preparing to apply for a college that is not eligible for PGWP, brother, I will advise you to drop that application and look for universities elsewhere. Now, this is my suggestion to you as an international student. 1, do not depend only on Canada, because looking at these things, I can say it categorically clear that maybe before the 10th of April, things will not be in order. And now you cannot really say that this visa is going to be something you can depend on. So point number 1, check other countries and check other universities outside of Canada if you really want to immigrate abroad. You can check Denmark. Denmark will give you 3 years postgraduate work permit, and of course, you know Denmark need workers. That is for sure. They will give you 3 years postgraduate work permit after you finish your studies, and you can immigrate to Denmark with your family. Check Finland. Though Finland is closed, Denmark is closed, but you can check them and see if there are possibilities for you to immigrate with your family or immigrate now, because it looks like their admissions is closed. Austria can also accept you with family. Of course, there are a lot of videos on this YouTube channel I mentioned before. Sweden is also taking families. And again, Portugal, there are other countries that can accept you with family. Take a look at these countries, take a look at their requirements, take a look at their tuition fee, and to be sincere with you, as it stands right now, the money you might be needing for Canada is not the same money you might be needing for Europe. Of course, these countries, they are very expensive. Tuition fee is very expensive. But again, will you be waiting for Canada, or would you move to Europe and start fighting and finding your way? Remember, time waits for nobody. This is something I told somebody who booked an appointment with me yesterday. Before I forget, if you need a one-on-one appointment with me booked from the video description box, please drop every message you need or everything that you doubt in the comment section. I will respond from there. So, looking at these changes, Canada is so unstable as I speak to you. Again, let's take a look at another pathway away from student pathway. There is another pathway called permanent residency pathway, where you go into the pool, the express entry route, where Canada selects qualified students. All right, and remember, to go into the pool of candidates, you have to have IELTS. You need your age also matter, your work experience matter, your work experience in Canada and outside of Canada matters, and again, your level of education. Now, they will select you based on points. If you take a look at the points or at the recent selection, you will realize that those of the general category, their points, the lowest point selected was around 540. Is it 40 or 43? There is a new draw that was done on January 23rd. I think the lowest that was selected was 500 plus. That is to tell you that the competition is so high. And now, how many people will be able to get this 500 grade mark? That is the question. So you have to sit down to evaluate yourself and see that if you are not meeting up these criteria, the best thing is to go elsewhere and start your future. You cannot be waiting for all the years, guys. I'm just explaining this so that some of us can see reasons. Of course, some people will say Europe is hard, Europe is this, but trust me, if you are hardworking and you are in Europe, you will always make it. Of course, it's easy to get permanent residency, citizenship in Canada than in most European country, but the main thing here is if you can fit, survive, and of course save, build your mindset, you will definitely pull through. So this is my advice for you today morning. And please, I didn't insist that you should take any other place. I'm just giving you suggestion and making you see reasons that it is almost impossible to be in Canada, to study in Canada in 2024. Please take this, do more research, and of course, see what works best for you. If you want to keep waiting, the choice is yours. I wish you all the best till we meet again in another video. Bye-bye.